G'day, it's Jump Bunny here. I'm back in Australia. What you can see in front of me is my backyard. Sunday morning, been back at work for a week, and I just wanted to capture this sentiment about how I feel being back in Australia. I'll tell you, one of the things that struck me the first second I got off the plane was the sunlight. The sunlight in Australia is whiter, and it only took I was only in Thailand for 3 weeks, and that was the very first thing. It looked surreal. Everything was so white. The sunlight, light's different spectrums, from yellow, white, orange colour. It's very strange. I guess the other thing I missed, which is going to sound weird, was my Land Cruiser. Over in Thailand I was driving an Isuzu D-Max, and great engine, not really the best quality vehicle. Suspension, because it was leaf suspension as well, it's a bit different. Getting back in my Land Cruiser was like putting on an old shoe. If you ever come to Australia, or you're from Australia, and particularly in Queensland where I live, it seems like every second or third car's a Land Cruiser. What I've noticed mostly this week, the Land Cruiser 250 we call here a Prado, this brand new one, there's so many of them on the road, and they're so expensive, and they only have 80 litres of diesel. My Land Cruiser has 150 litres of diesel, so I can do about 1200 kilometres on a tank, or 2 tanks. There's so many of these new Land Cruisers around, and I'm just flabbergasted that people are spending this kind of money, when in the media, that's the thing I didn't miss, in the media, it's no one's got any money, no one's got anywhere to live, rents are through the roof, interest rates need to go down, inflation's through the roof, and there's so many brand new Land Cruiser 250 Prados on the road. I guess the other thing I missed, what I've done this week on the shorts, is just tried to show, you see things, when you travel, you see things, you see your own home with fresh eyes for a period. I'll try to pick out different things that are interesting. We had a piss down with rain the other day, about 100 mil in an hour, which is a lot. Where I live, you get these downpours, and the frogs come out. So I just got frogs in the front yard. Well, that was pretty cool. One of the downpipes, actually, part of it fell off, so I had to glue it back on, or cement it back on. Grass hasn't grown much because it's kind of tail end of winter here, so it's mostly dormant. One thing I did miss, which is my bad, is red wine. In Australia there's so much red wine, so much choice. It's extremely plentiful. Along with beer, I don't drink beer. Red wine, and you got your Shiraz, Cab Sav, etc. I must admit, that's one of the first things I did, was buy myself a bottle of red wine. It was, you can get it in Thailand. It's all Jacob's Creek in 7-Eleven. It's not very good, but it's still red wine. That was one of the things I missed. Of course, I missed my dog. He's you might see him in the backyard in some of the videos. Yeah. One of the things that actually was interesting, one of the things that struck me, because we were playing with one of the, pardon me, one of the locals' Thai dogs. They're quite small. I've got a Labrador. He's on a good day 42, up to 45 kilos. And he just looked overwhelming in size, but obviously that's his size. And he was in a kennel for 3 weeks, and he loves it there. They call it buddy dorm, so he hangs out with another dog, and he must have got quite spoiled because he was a little bit disobedient when I got him back, but we're back to normal now. I got him a shin bone from the butcher, and he's super happy. One of the main things I wanted to say in this update, should anyone ever listen to it, or whatever you want to call it, is that, yeah, everything's back to normal in terms of anxiety, grudges, the same patterns of behaviour or thought patterns. And it's interesting to me that that came back so quickly. You know, they call it, you know, there's various terms for it. You go on holidays, you come back. Monday's a bloody shock, I tell you that. But yeah, the same contentions at work, the same bullshit in the media, the same grind. And you know, I can understand, you know, why people want to retire in Thailand. Like Tom from All Tied Up, you know, living the dream. Chuck it all in, and but what are you chucking in fact? You're actually chucking out crap. You're chucking out old thought patterns. You're chucking out media saturation. That's the one thing, even though you can actively unplug, you can try and unplug, if you're still working like me, it's very hard to unplug. I need to stay up to date. The work I do is technology related. I need to stay up to date. You just get exposed to it. You know, Grok 4 with Annie, Wafu, not safe for work mode, and like, to be perfectly honest, I've looked at it. It is absolutely amazing. That's computer code doing that, and the Turing test has been well and truly passed. It is quite remarkable. So when I did the video and I was overlooking the rice farms, I was sitting in the temple. It was very peaceful. I felt really different. And now I'm back to how I am now, which is myself. Is it really yourself? Who is yourself? I was glad to come back home after a few days, but funnily enough, when I got back home, I didn't feel any identification with the property and the house and the stuff. I didn't really identify with that. After a few days now I do. So that was interesting. But the first thing that struck me was the quality of the sunlight. You can see it in the video. The light is, the sunlight's whiter. A lot whiter. And it's just a difference. It's neither good nor bad. So I guess the last thing I want to say is just an observation that it is, Australia's a country that's probably, you know, America and other countries, it's a country built on immigration. And there's a lot in the media here in Australia, like they call it the housing crisis, housing affordability crisis, and that's absolutely true. When I was younger, houses, the population of Australia is now sitting at about 27, probably 28 million, because the census is a couple of years out of date. We're running at 500,000, maybe 6, 7, well, that's a lot of people, 700,000 people immigrating to Australia year on year. The country's growing enormously, and people are coming from their homes. It's skilled labour and family reunions. It's I guess political refugees and all manner of people coming. And then changed the face of Australia from when I knew it as a kid. But I find it ironic that I'm looking to explore ideas about leaving. So essentially reverse immigration, or immigration to another country rather. Yet 700,000 people are leaving their situation to come back. And I think you bring your culture with you wherever you travel. As the Thais who come to Australia, they bring their culture with them, and every other grouping of people. So I think that's that's an irony of it. The one thing I did miss, that also along the lines of the white sunlight, the Australian accent. It was actually good to hear Australians speak in the Australian accent, because like when I was in Thailand, I didn't meet one Australian whatsoever, and I spoke English with my children, Australian with my children, but I didn't actually speak really English much with anyone, nor did I hear the Australian accent, and I found that surprising, that I would actually think that would be something I miss, which was quite interesting. No worries, well, should anyone listen to this, hopefully you found it moderately interesting, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.